Why is your driver playing tricks on you? Well, many of you don't understand the fact that the face of the club, you realize why they call it a twist face with TaylorMade, is because the face of the club is round, it's not square. So for those of you who hook the ball too much, you don't realize that the face looks more open at address than it is in reality, and you're here trying to close it to square it up, and you end up hooking the ball. Also, you'll notice that many of the logos, like the little TaylorMade logo right there, is situated more toward the heel. Many of you are setting up between the logo and the toe of the club, and then you get unnecessary gear effect to the left, or you're hitting them way too much in the toe, and that's what's causing offline and weak shots with the driver. You don't want to miss this show. We're going to tell you all about the stuff that you didn't realize about your driver. So even my Callaway driver, notice the logo is a little closer to the heel as well. So what I did, and this is perfectly legal, it's USGA conforming, and I got the letter straight from the USGA representative himself saying that semi-permanent lines on the top of the club head on the crown are fine. You just don't want them on the face. So our little decals here for our GC Hawk and our GC Quad would not be legal in competitive play because they affect the face. So you can't have anything on the face, but you can have something on the crown of the club. What this will do is give you a much better idea of how you're setting up. So many of my students, when they set up, because of the logo is closer to the heel, they don't realize that they're actually setting up between the logo of the ball and the toe of the club. And that's going to have nasty consequences as far as the gear effect. So when the ball hits the toe of the club, it loads the shaft, and the shaft kicks the head around the ball. So it'd be like if you were playing soccer and you kick a soccer ball to make it curve to the left, you're actually kicking to the outside of the ball with the inside of your foot. So for those of you who are slicing the ball, there's a perfect remedy for your slice. Imagine the club face as being the inside of your foot. You close it just like you would with the foot, and then you swing. See the blur of the club? You swing to the right of your target, and watch what happens. The ball curves violently to the left. So that would be, a duck hook. For the better player, that's what they're trying to avoid. And that's why you'll see most of the players on tour, like Colin Morikawa and Dustin Johnson, they are notorious for hitting fades. And if they're not getting their fades, Colin tends to overcut it. That's when he gets in trouble. And DJ tends to pull it. And when it doesn't cut, that's when he gets in trouble. So they're trying to make that fade, the power fade, very repeatable. But it's very difficult to hit a power fade when the face of the club is too closed, or if you're hitting the ball toward the toe of the club. So what you want to do when you have these lines there, see how the logo of the driver is now in line with the center of the golf ball. So then I can bring that out to the left. There's for my fade. And now I'm just going to deliver to the left of my intermediate point and let it fade back toward the center of the fairway. Here we go. And there's that DJ ball that stays straight. Let's see what we got on that. So notice the, nice center, basically a hair off the toe, and I got 154 side spin left. That's virtually a straight draw. And because I hit it just a little above the equator, I get very low spin. So my carry was almost 280 and a nice 310-yard drive. So for 110 miles an hour, that's pretty gosh darn efficient. So if I perform a little bit more closed and I'm trying to square up the club because I find that the club face looks just too open, now I'm going to send that in the set just a little bit more to the right for the draw. Here we go. So what ends up happening now is you can see there's way more curvature to the left on that. So now that's robbing me of a lot of juice. So that was 107 miles an hour, hit that right in the center of the face. But because my club face was 4 degrees closed, that's all that happens, right? You take that and you want to square it up. You're closing it a good 4 to 5 degrees. Now your side spin is 750 to the left. And you end up with very little backspin, so the ball just dies right out of the sky. And now my total distance is 260. I just lost 40 yards. That's not, that's not fun at all. So if I come back to a more respectable face, and for most of you who tend to hook the ball, the key is real simple. Let the sole of the club lay flat on the ground. So when you let it lay flat on the ground, can you see how the face looks open to you? Right? So if I set up right here, you can see that face looks open and that looks square. Well, in reality, that's a good 4 degrees closed. I can see the chevron on my club pointing well left of the ball, whereas this is pointing at the ball. And all I got to do is do that, and now I've got a very closed face. So if you add closed face to toe shots, then you're really not enjoying your driver one bit, okay? So get some lines on it so that you can identify the blur of the club. And what you're going to do is you're going to send the blur above the tee. So watch the blur. See that? So I can see the blur is basically splitting the tee here, and then when I put a ball on that, you can keep your eyes on the tee, and we're just going to split the tee with the blur of the club. Here we go. Now that went in the direction I wanted to, but I think I caught that a little bit off the toe. So I still got 310 down the left center. Notice it's catching a part of the green there. Yes. So that toe hit, the face was only closed not even 1 degree, and the side spin on that is 94 to the left. So that's what prevented me from getting my fade. So had I hit that in the center of the face, that ball would have probably started fading back toward the center of the fairway, and instead I'm going to be probably maybe left rough, left center of the fairway, okay? So if now you understand, for many of you, you're going to have to line it up off the inside line and feel like the logo of the club is going to the outside of the ball. So let's see what happens now when we go in that direction. Oh man, that's good. So another 310-yard drive. Now we've got center contact, 1.2 face open, and we got a gorgeous fade, 350 side spin to the right, and my backspin's still pretty low at 1700 RPM, so that's not killing me at all, especially these new low spin. This is the LS head from Callaway, and I can go all day with that and keep it under 2000 RPM and really get the most out of my drives, okay? So, A, beware of the logo. To help you with that, use some white electric tape. Works really well. I've had this on my club the whole year and it's not moving. It does a really good job. And if I peel it off, it won't leave a mark. B, you want to, make sure that once you know where that club head is going to pass, don't try to square it up for those of you who are hooking the ball. For those of you who tend to slice the ball, it's probably because your grip club relationship is way too open, and you'll need to close the face, and you'll probably need to strengthen the grip. And just think about that beautiful soccer kick. That's really going to help you, negate that fade or that big slice curvature on it, and then you'll be able to start bringing it back to the center of the fairway. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we look forward to bringing you some awesome driver videos real soon. We're on our way down to Connecticut at the end of July, where Sav and Moo are going to be competing in their 4th event, and I'll be there watching along and cheering along, and we've got some awesome clinics happening down there at the same time, and looking forward to talking to you all about that when we get back. All the best.